Welcome to IMRAN STAR Video, or as we call it, ISVi, the collaborative lens on Vancouver, unfiltered, unscripted, and powered by community. We're not just a voice behind the mic, we're a collective of creators, thinkers, storytellers, and city lovers coming together to spotlight the people, places, and energy that make Vancouver what it is. From Coast Mountain skylines to neon-lit backstreets, we're covering everything from downtown buzz to the untold stories shaping our scene. You'll find us exclusively on YouTube, no algorithms, no filters, just real talk. For behind the scenes, updates, and chaotic brilliance in real time, follow us on TikTok and Instagram. So hit subscribe, drop a comment, and help us grow from 100 to 10,000 and beyond. Because this isn't just our platform, it's yours too. Turn it up, get into it. Let's talk Vancouver. This is ISVi. Long before Vancouver became a global city, it was, and remains, the unceded territory of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil Waututh nations. Indigenous art has always been deeply embedded in this land, serving as law, memory, and identity. Today, it continues to shape the city's cultural and political landscape. More than symbolic, Indigenous art is a living practice, a sophisticated system of knowledge transmission inseparable from community life. Artists activate tradition in contemporary ways, connecting thousands of years of history to modern social struggles. This continuity makes Indigenous art in Vancouver both timeless and radical. One of the most visible ways Indigenous art influences Vancouver is through public art and architecture. From Stanley Park's totem poles to art in transit stations and civic buildings, these installations assert Indigenous presence on ancestral land. They are not merely decorative, they are cultural interventions that encourage reconciliation, disrupt historical invisibility, and reclaim space that was once taken without consent. Vancouver is home to influential Indigenous artists like Lawrence Paul Uswalupton and Susan Point. Their work confronts colonialism and environmental destruction through powerful visual language, combining traditional forms with contemporary styles. As cultural leaders, their influence extends to younger generations who blend graffiti, digital media, and fashion with traditional motifs. This fusion actively reshapes Vancouver's street culture and digital storytelling, proving Indigenous art is not confined to galleries. Institutions such as the Museum of Anthropology, MOA, the Vancouver Art Gallery, VAG, and the Bill Reid Gallery have played significant roles in shaping public understanding of Indigenous art. Historically, many museums treated Indigenous works as anthropological artifacts rather than living cultural expressions. Today, this approach is shifting. Indigenous curators, scholars, and artists now have greater authority over how their work is displayed and interpreted. Exhibitions increasingly emphasize Indigenous voice, self-representation, and land-based knowledge, rather than colonial narratives. The Bill Reid Gallery in downtown Vancouver exemplifies this shift by centering Indigenous storytelling, contemporary voices, and community engagement. These institutional changes influence public education, shaping how Vancouver residents understand Indigenous history, identity, and creativity. Museums are no longer passive archives. They are becoming spaces of dialogue, resistance, and cultural resurgence. Indigenous art is crucial to Vancouver's cultural economy, sold in galleries, markets, and online. Indigenous-owned businesses foster economic self-determination, allowing creators to control their intellectual property and cultural narratives. However, commercialization presents ongoing challenges like appropriation and counterfeit art, creating a tension between celebrating Indigenous art and protecting it from misuse. In Vancouver, Indigenous art is activism. Murals and street installations challenge colonial power, educating the public on issues like MMIWG, residential school trauma, and climate justice. These artworks transform city walls into sites of remembrance and resistance. In education, artists use visual storytelling to decolonize knowledge, asserting Indigenous ways of knowing in schools and community centers. For Indigenous youth in Vancouver, art is a pathway to cultural reconnection and healing. Disconnected from their heritage, art programs help them reclaim identity and rebuild cultural confidence. Blending traditional knowledge with modern platforms like graffiti and digital animation, they express both ancestral and contemporary realities. Through art, they reinterpret history, confront trauma, and imagine futures grounded in strength, powerfully influencing the city's cultural landscape. Indigenous art has profoundly shaped Vancouver's broader cultural identity. The city's visual branding, tourism imagery, university symbols, and public architecture increasingly reflect Indigenous aesthetics. This influence challenges the myth that Indigenous culture belongs solely to the past. Instead, it affirms Indigenous presence as foundational to Vancouver's past, present, and future. Non-Indigenous artists, chefs, designers, and educators now engage more thoughtfully with Indigenous knowledge systems, often through collaborative partnerships rather than appropriation. While tensions remain, Vancouver is slowly moving toward a cultural model based on respect, shared space, and Indigenous leadership. Indigenous art has also altered how Vancouver represents itself globally. The city is no longer marketed solely as a Pacific Rim metropolis or natural tourism destination. It is increasingly recognized as a center of Indigenous cultural resurgence and contemporary Indigenous creativity. Indigenous art in Vancouver is far more than aesthetic expression. It is a powerful force of cultural survival, political resistance, economic empowerment, and social transformation. Rooted in ancient Coast Salish traditions, yet constantly evolving in modern forms, Indigenous art shapes how the city understands land, history, justice, and identity. Through public installations, contemporary galleries, youth programs, activism, and cultural entrepreneurship, Indigenous artists continue to redefine Vancouver as a city built not only on glass towers and global capital, but also on thousands of years of Indigenous presence, creativity, and resilience as Vancouver confronts its colonial past and imagines its future. Indigenous art will remain at the center of reconciliation, representation, and cultural truth. And just like that, the city's pulse slows, but the story doesn't stop. You've been watching ISVi IMRAN STAR video, where voices come together and the city speaks back. We're a crew, not a single face, a movement, not a moment, and every episode that's built with you, for you, by all of us. From the seawall to the skyline, from underground voices to rooftop vibes, we're telling the stories that don't make the news, but make the neighborhood. If this episode hit, pass it on. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Drop a comment and tell us what your Vancouver sounds like. We're building this together, clip by clip, story by story, from 100 to 10K to wherever this takes us. When we get there, we all show up. So until the next drop, stay loud, stay collective, and stay in it. This is ISVi, signing off.